let's go to today's news about Hunter Biden, which we all knew about, basically knew it's true. What's interesting here is this is kind of a meta story because we have a story about Hunter Biden, and then we have a story about how people responded to this story. So should we look at the story first? Let's look at the story.
Yeah.
All right. Were you following this in real time, by the way?
I mean, I caught a little bit of it. It's not a very big surprise. I mean, there's always been something shady going on with Hunter Biden and Ukraine. It was one of the reasons why I thought this impeachment thing over Ukraine and the Bidens was such a big mistake, because I knew that even if, Joe Biden's primary opponents ignored, Hunter Biden's dealings with Ukraine, I knew Trump wouldn't. And the fact that Hunter Biden got a lucrative board seat on a Ukrainian gas company while his father was running point in Ukraine, and just not long after his father's government had engineered a coup in Ukraine to change the government, I knew it would come back to hurt Joe Biden. And it was just so obvious, and now it's bearing fruit with this. I mean, this story, it's some of the suggestions from it are not confirmed. So there's it looks like there was a meeting between a executive at Burisma and Joe Biden, because he wrote Hunter Biden to thank him for arranging it. And the Biden team has put out a denial that was a qualified denial. They say that they don't rule out that there was some kind of meeting. All they said was that there was nothing on the official schedule. So it's quite possible, but it's not confirmed that there was a meeting yet. But the fact that Biden has denied ever speaking with his son about Burisma and his role there, this just raises more questions over whether or not that's true. Although it doesn't prove that it's not true, but it certainly raises more questions that it's not. Yeah.
So I'm just going to read. And of course, this is one of those things where it's like, I'd like to read this at a place that's not the New York Post. But one of the problems that you encounter all the time, right, is that like there is no discussion outside of certain parameters on the left, except for a few places, including, for instance, the gray zone. And and then people will then use the fact that you're reading an article from the New York Post, or that you're citing something from the New York Times, citing something from Tucker Carlson, or appearing on Tucker Carlson to delegitimize someone, or suggest that they're right wingers, or they're Putin plants, or they're Trump supporters. And again, the larger problem is that there's a silencing of anyone who's not on the right. And like, these people should not be the only place you can go to talk about Syria.
Absolutely.
Yeah. They were a treasure trove was delivered, and I'm just reading again at the New York Post. Sorry. Hunter Biden introduced his father, then Vice President Joe Biden, to a top executive at a Ukrainian energy firm less than a year before the elder Biden pressured government officials in Ukraine into firing a prosecutor who was investigating the company, according to emails obtained by the Post. The never-before-revealed meeting is mentioned in a message of appreciation that Vadim Pozhorinsky, an advisor to the board of Burisma, allegedly sent Hunter Biden on April 7th, 2015, about a year after Hunter joined the Burisma board at a reported salary of up to $50,000 a month. Oh my God. Remember, no experience, right? I'm not Hunter shaming. I like Hunter. I feel bad for him. I think he's got a raw deal. My heart goes out to him.
Sure. I mean, he's a sympathetic character. I mean, he had
I think so too.
He had a serious drug addiction.
Yeah.
But also, by the way, it might not even be 50,000. It could have been up to 83,000 a month. That's what some reports say. Yeah, with no qualifications. I mean, it's just naked corruption. If any of the Trumps had gotten a gig like that, we'd be hearing about it nonstop.
Right. And that's the other thing. People are like, but what about the Trumps? It's like, no one's saying that there's the same level of nepotism. No one, but like, you can't just pretend it doesn't exist, although the media would like to do that. And in fact, look, I think it's going to be a moot point because I think Trump is going to get trampled, but who knows? But if it were closer, something like this could have actually harmed Biden, and keeping it under wraps instead of kind of litigating it out in the open is exactly why something like this gets dropped in October.
Yep. Exactly.
But again, so people aren't doing anyone any favors when they don't let the natural, selection process happen. Dear Hunter, thank you for inviting me to DC and giving an opportunity to meet your father and spent some time together. It's realty, an honor and pleasure. And an earlier email showed Pojarski. Do you know how to say that? Pojarski? Pojarski?
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I mean, someone in the chat maybe can correct me.
Yeah, can tell us. Yeah, can berate me. Pojarski reported Burisma's number 3 executive asking Hunter for advice on how you could use your influence on the company's behalf. The blockbuster correspondence, which flies in the face of Joe Biden's claim that he's never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings, is contained in a massive trove of data recovered from a laptop computer. And here's one of the things, which was dropped off at a repair shop.
Yeah, in Delaware.
Yeah, in Delaware. And
he never came back for the laptop, which is just so sad. Like, Hunter, come on, man. Your dad's gonna run for president.
Wait, oh my God, wait. I thought someone stole. Oh my God, I thought it was like a drop-off location. Someone stole it and was like, "I'm gonna." No, but they're actually saying this is like the Podesta thing, where we think it's much more nefarious and much more effort than it actually is. Oh my God.
Yeah, Hunter. I mean,
Hunter left his.
Hunter left his own. And it's just. And they find videos of him engaging in a sex act, and he's got a crack.
Oh, wait a second. Hold on. 1 second.
No.
Hold on. The customer who brought in the water-damaged MacBook Pro for repair never paid for the service or retrieved it or a hard drive on which his content were stored, according to the shop owner, who said he tried repeatedly to contact the client. The shop owner couldn't positively identify the customer as Hunter Biden, but said the laptop bore a sticker from the Beau Biden Foundation, named after Hunter's late brother and former Delaware Attorney General.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be someone trying to set him up.
Well, it could be. Well, yeah, sure, it could be. But what are the odds of that? That's a pretty crazy setup. And it has videos. It has Hunter's own videos. So what it looks like is that this was Hunter's laptop. And maybe someone from his family, maybe someone was from his family. Hunter did have a relationship with his late brother's wife after he passed. So, I mean,
after he passed,
After he passed, sorry, so maybe, but the point is, Hunter's troubled, or he was troubled at least then, and now this information is out, and I think Trump is doing so bad.
Yeah,
his coronavirus handling has been so bad. His demeanor and the way he behaves is so awful that I'd like to think that enough people are sick of it by now and are ready to vote him out, and the polls certainly indicate that. So and also this story is being censored online and in the media. Certainly, I don't think CNN has even acknowledged it tonight.
That's the thing that's just unbelievable. It's not unbelievable. Every time I think something is unbelievable, it's actually just true. But they're actually Facebook and Twitter are what is it that you're not? I'm trying to get the deets about what they're.
Can't share the story. If you try to share the New York Post story, they won't let you.
All right, let's try this in real time. Ready, guys? Okay, that's the right one. Ben Shapiro's up there, right? For some weird reason. Well, because I put in New York Post. That's why I put in Hunter Biden. Duh, okay. All right, let's see. Just gonna try this.
Don't you just want to know what Ben Shapiro's thinking at all times?
Oh yeah, it's true. He's my pinned tweet.
All right.
I wish that would be cool actually if you could just constantly have could I filter out everyone but Ben Shapiro? Oh, and look what else is trending. Of course, Russian experts question Rudy Giuliani's role in New York Post revelation of Hunter Biden's emails.
Yeah, of course. It's always Russia. Anything that threatens the centrist establishment consensus is just Russian disinformation. I heard the same thing at the UN Security Council when I tried to present the case for this being a huge issue and there being a cover up of a OPCW investigation in Syria, it just gets dismissed as Russian disinformation.
Right. Yeah.
It's one
Also,
size
yeah.
fits all. It's like it applies to everything. And
Yeah.
of course,
And it's always the Russians.
it's always the Russians. Yeah.
Imagine if we were like the Chinese.
Yeah.
The Chinese attacked, in the 1950s maybe, but okay, here we go. Ready? Testing. What should we say, guys? Testing to see if Twitter really is engaging in censorship. And then I want to put it out there that I'm Hunter positive. I'm Team Hunter, but still. But still would like the power to share news. Let's see what happens. Ready? Share news. I mean, this is ridiculous. Isn't this like what the Russians do?
Well,
I mean, it's like imagine another country doing this.
And I wonder if they reversed it by now. Oh no, there you go. You can't.
We can't complete this request because the link has been identified by Twitter or our part. What? Hold on. I won't be shut down. Okay.
No, you can't do it.
Or our partners is being potentially harmful. Visit our help center to learn more.
Yeah.
What do you think their help center would say?
Nothing. I mean, the point is,
that would be great. Here's I'm going to do a workaround. Watch this. Ready, guys? This is like psyops. Oh, is it like let's see, hold on. Something went wrong, but don't fret. Let's give it another shot. I don't think so, Twitter. I've heard that one too many times. All right, hold on. Okay, now I'm going to, just so we can spread the word and show what's happening, because someone needs to know. Nice thing from Shuja. All right, I'll be like, this is the tweet. The globalists won't let you post. Just kidding. I won't say that.
Don't say globalist.
I won't. I know. This is the tweet. You can't. What happens when you try to?
It's so embarrassing.
It's so insane.
It's so embarrassing, and it's because look, I mean, first of all, there's been speaking of Russian disinformation, so much of Russiagate was just straight up disinformation, all of it, for more than 3 years, nonstop, everything. Almost every single day there was a bullshit story. Yet there's no restrictions on that. There, a lot of the stories came from leaks, and even leaks that are against the law. But there's no effort to enforce the law there. So, and there shouldn't be, because we shouldn't be restricting information, even when it's false, like in the case of Russiagate. And now they're trying to apply this here. And on top of the principle and the precedent that it sets, where now this can be used against anybody, especially I think progressives, because progressives always bear the brunt of this stuff. Just politically, what a gift this is to Trump and to the right. If the story just been allowed to go, I think it would have died down after a day.
Yeah, no,
but now
I know.
It's going to become a free speech issue, and rightfully, it is a free speech issue. So
yeah,
they're going to,
people are so dumb about this.
And so it also just brings more attention to it. But there's been, like the way Biden has been covered, way even before this, like with impeachment, like every time they would bring up Hunter Biden and Joe Biden, and if you read any news, like major news, like liberal news media account, they always have this line, like there's no evidence that Biden's engaged in any wrongdoing, every single time, which was like this like boilerplate line to just try to minimize the story, when really what was already established actually shows that there was something really sketchy, which is that Hunter Biden, this drug addicted, unqualified son of Joe Biden, got a lucrative Burisma board seat for up to $83,000 a month, right after his father helped engineer a coup in Ukraine. So of course it's a story, but there was just, because the media is in lockstep with the neoliberal establishment of the Democratic Party, there was just it was totally censored. And this is the next logical step in that, where now a new revelation comes out, you can't even share it. It's not only just being ignored, they're literally blocking people from sharing it. And it's Orwellian, and of course the stuff will only, I think, benefit the right and come back to hurt the left.
Yeah, I mean, it's just unbelievable. And also, it's like, what the left is losing its mind. I don't want to be I mean, this is such basic liberal stuff. You don't have to be a leftist. You don't have to be a radical. You can just be a boring, good old fashioned lib and quote that apocryphal Voltaire quote. I may not agree with you, but I'll fight to the death to defend your right to say it, right? But no, it's like,
yeah,
life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, freedom, free speech, free press, unless you say something that we don't like about Joe Biden or his family.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, can't they just be like more subtle about it? I guess they can't. And so Maggie Haberman was attacked. I love when I kind of do like watching them attack each other, but Maggie Haberman.
Yeah, all she did was share the story, and she quoted from it.
She should be fired immediately.
Yeah.
She probably is working for the Russians.
Yeah.
Has she apologized yet?
I'm sure she has. I think she started to backtrack. And for anybody who's not like a diehard liberal, like, how is this going to look that you have this like collective freak out and even direct censorship of a story that is critical of a major party candidate? How is this going to look to anyone who's not already inside the liberal tent? I mean,
yeah.
I think luckily, Trump is so bad that I don't think anything can rescue him at this point. Although, then again, I thought he would lose in 2016. So what do I know?
Right.
But it just looks so ridiculous. And it's a part of a growing thing where there's a real intolerance for anything that offends the sensibilities of, sort of mainstream liberalism, and this reaction to censor it and to block it and to paint anything we don't like as Russian disinformation. It's on a dangerous path. And we've already seen, one big example of how this was used against the left. It's something that was such an obvious outgrowth of Russiagate. When Bernard Sanders was leading in the primary, on the eve of the Nevada caucus, things were looking up for him. We were all excited. Things were looking good. On the eve of the Nevada vote, it gets leaked that the Russians are supporting Bernie Sanders, and they want to boost him because the Russians feel as if boosting Sanders will actually help Trump. And of course, the evidence for this is not disclosed. It's all vague. There's no even specificity as how the Russians are supposed to be helping Bernie Sanders, because it's all made up. It's the equivalent of monsters under the bed. So Russiagate was used to attack Bernie Sanders because, under the guise of opposing Trump, what Russiagate really was protecting the power and privilege of the neoliberals who lost to Trump and whose privilege and power was threatened by Trump's victory and the appeal of an anti-establishment message from Trump, even though Trump was just conning people into believing that he was anti-establishment. But the fact that his message had an appeal and that he won based off of it, that was a threat to the neoliberals. And so they used Russiagate to defend that. And a lot of progressives got duped into going along with it and thinking it would bring Trump down. And what actually happened is that it not only helped Trump, but at the moment, because, it, as I've said a million times, it distracted everybody from Trump's real crimes and real policies, gave Trump the gift of exoneration. And then not only did it help Trump, but at the point when Bernie Sanders was now threatening the neoliberal centrists, when it came time to elect a new candidate, they used it against Bernie too. And they Russiagated him. And they also used it against Bernie Sanders in the sense that this impeachment thing, which was all about Biden and Ukraine, that also hurt Bernie, because instead of campaigning,
took him away from the trail,
instead of campaigning in Iowa and South Carolina, he had to sit in the Senate gallery and listen to Adam Schiff talk about how we have to fight the Russians over there so we don't fight them over here. So this is how, when progressives and liberals buy into, censorious reactionary politics, it is always used to attack progressives, because this is what it's about. It's not about really principle. It's about protecting the pride and privilege of establishment centrists who can't run on their own merits, on their own policies. They need to use silencing tactics to protect themselves.